Hello, welcome to Let's Play Disco Elysium Part 40. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and check out the Patreon. So, last time we got a pretty big lead on Ruby. Apparently she's gone running up the coast, and we have an inkling of where we might find her. Now, it's possible we will just be running around pretty mindlessly now, but we just might spot something new. Ooh. Chest, some magnesium, very good, and some nosafed for the health. So I'm just going to have a look around and see, because oh, aha. We noticed them earlier.
And Mikhail noticed the windows, especially with how there are no windows on the south side. This was to deal with.
A blond man stands next to his son, pointing to the weather-worn ruins. He sees you approaching and smiles.
You officers, come to investigate the historic subtext of West Martinez? I'm Tran Heidelstam. You must be Kim Kitsuragi, right? Oh. I was just telling my son about this building. Not a lot of people realize the historic significance here. Very rich in hypertext.
Why does he know Kim?
Nice to meet you.
Let's ask him about a few things first. It looks like this is the last thing we should ask. So, hold on, hypertext?
Yes, hypertext. Young Carp and the collection of cultural hyperlinks.
He says it as if it's self-evident.
He's just making up fancy words. This doesn't mean anything.
Wait, what was that about the windows before?
Oh yes, so Mikhail. They had to deal with monitor glare, especially in the summer. They still had vector monitors back then. That was 49 years ago. So they didn't have windows on the south wall.
Yeah, makes sense. You and Kim know each other?
No, I can't say that we've met before, but I've heard of Kim, of course.
Of course.
Mikhail, say hi to the officers.
He rests his hand on the boy's shoulder. The child stays hidden behind the hem of his father's coat, clutching his worm-themed colouring book. Oh, let me see your colouring book, kid.
Mikhail's a little tired today. We spent all night trying to run Orbis on his radio computer. Have you heard of it? It's a programming language used in Grad. Quite tricky, but he wanted to play this Grad-made adventure program. We've been getting really into Worms lately.
The man speaks in the artificial cadence of a professor, or someone who's been on too many radio shows.
But I assume you're not here for giant worms when there are so many real things to see.
Oh, I would be.
Just as I was telling Mikhail before, this is where the Coalition landed in 08. We could be standing on what is the most interesting landmark in Revachol West.
He points to the building again.
This man is your half-brother. You feel it. But why?
Why, indeed. And why does he know Kim? Is Kim famous?
Well, get a load of this guy. He really enjoys his trivia. The Orbis programming language was named after its inventor, Victor Orbis, a cybernetician from Grad. They run Vox in the Occidental countries.
Right, so I do have quite a lot of things I'd like to ask him about, but I think sticking to business, I'm looking for a suspect. Have you seen anyone suspicious around? Not that I think Ruby would necessarily look suspicious. I mean, how would you gauge that?
No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this one, officer. It's just a regular day off for me and Mikhail here.
He pats his son's head. We could give him a description.
So you
maybe.
haven't seen anyone around?
Yeah, that's a useful question.
No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day off. We just arrived anyway.
There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off.
Aww.
He's telling the truth. He hasn't seen anyone.
Okay. Have you been talking to other police officers?
Me? Yes, at some point, I'm sure I have. There was this one rather memorable instance when I had a chance to meet the head of Dominion Police of Königstein.
Ah.
And as you know, they have this very distinctive dress uniform with scarlet breeches and little cylindrical fur caps. I think these are called...
You daze off as Trant tells you about the peculiarities of mounted police forces in the Central Occident.
Wait, what was it that you wanted to ask?
Well, I think it was like, how do you know Kim, to be honest? And, yeah, why do you feel like a brother? He looks like someone who has money. Do you have any money?
I do have some money, yes, but that's not what's really important here.
He brushes it off like it's not a thing at all.
He's not gonna give you money. What are you doing? Clearly you were just profiling.
Maybe I could have some of that unimportant money then?
Oh no, I don't have it on me, officer. I was talking in more general terms.
He looks uncomfortable, his left hand squeezing his son's shoulder. Look, we have $22 or whatever. That's hardly anything to live off.
I'm just spending time with my kid here, showing him around the lesser-known parts of our hometown. It wouldn't be wise to carry huge amounts of cash on such expeditions.
Okay, so what's so fascinating about an empty old building?
Aha! But it's not just any empty old building.
He raises his hands to his eyes to shield himself from the pattering rain. All four of you turn to admire the mural before you, which was the thing that my instinct told me I should be checking out.
What not a lot of people know is this used to be the R&D
R&D?
department of Felt Electrical. And Felt, which now sells ink cartridges mostly, was once a top dog in the turn-of-the-century cybernetics boom.
Ah.
Hold on. What's R&D?
Wait, what's an R&D department?
Apologies, it's an acronym for research and development.
Yeah.
They don't use it anymore.
He smiles brightly, laugh lines around his eyes.
You're probably more familiar with RTD, Research and Technological Development.
Mea culpa. You are not familiar with that one either. This man is a bookhead.
Look at the building looming over you.
It looks old and weathered, with seagulls picking apart its stone and metal carcass. Bushy undergrowth has taken hold of the collapsed rooftop. Some kind of bird has set up a nest on a broken windowsill.
So, with it being a tech place, I'm kind of wondering if it would be the place to have radio equipment. Okay, I don't think I've ever heard of this Feld Electrical.
That's not surprising. Only a vestigial ink cartridge and ferrotape manufacturer remains.
He adjusts his suit jacket.
They started out as a midway electronics outfit in Königstein 2 centuries ago. After an aggressive move to Revachol, Feld became a global player in the emerging personal electronics market of the pre-revolutionary era. Still, Tricentennial was beating them in business machines. But Feld had an ace up their sleeve, or should I say they were developing an ace up their sleeve. I'm mixing my metaphors here.
He grins. What was that ace?
It was here in Martinez, possibly in this very building, that they developed prototypes for a tape computer.
A tape computer?
An elegant folding mechanism of rollers and ferrotape ribbons, portable enough to be a take-it-home solution, revolutionizing business machines, possibly even bring them to the average consumer, which is a feat of engineering even today's giants, Rehm, ICN and ZAM, haven't achieved yet.
He grins, admiring the sentence he just produced. A nice bit of history. What happened?
Indeed. What?
The revolution!
The boy wipes his nose on his sleeve.
Unfortunately, their moonshot project never made it to the market. Feld's move to Revachol backfired. The revolutionary government liquefied their assets and expropriated those very advanced prototypes, possibly from this very building, or one of the adjacent ruins.
He pauses, pointing to the other buildings, then continues.
All of this was built by Feld, even the boardwalk. While Pines built Martinez proper as a resort for their middle management, Feld built this side of town for R&D.
Aha. Okay, so how did those tape computers work? Did they work like radio computers?
Actually, no one knows. No one even knows what a computer made entirely of tape would look like. But word has it, they were very elegant, exquisite, alien-looking turn-of-the-century hardware.
He raises his finger, remembering something.
Buckle up.
10 years ago, I did a little freelancing, I guess you could say. I was a special consultant for an exhibition at the Wompty Dumpty Dum Center in Vredefort, Oranje. It raised the same questions, and we had lengthy discussions with Paul Ockerman, who was head curator at the time. This was before the twins Keith and Guy Juice joined the team, trying to...
Whoopty-dumpty-dumpty-dum.
Wait, did he just say
yeah,
Dumpty
exactly.
Center? He did it. He said Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center, like it's the most natural thing in the world. What the hell is a Wumpty Dumpty Dum Center? And who the hell are Keith and Guy Yost?
Okay, the Wumpty-Dumpty-Dum Center? Paul Ockerman, Keith and Guy Juice? What are you talking about?
The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center for Contemporary Art. The exhibition itself drew on Lagerman's notion of memory, and so there were some parallels. That's why the head curator, Paul Ockerman, chose to...
You're making this up. Turn to the lieutenant. Kim, is he making this up?
In fact, I'm not. The Wompty Dumpty Dum Center is a place you can visit if you're ever in Vredefort and are ever in the market for an exhibition space / contemporary art research center.
That actually sounds like a pretty cool place.
But perhaps I should return to the tape computers. As I was saying, the device itself was very elegant, fragile even. One could write directly on the tape using a special chemical solution. The machine would then analyze the handwriting, perform operations, and project output onto a white screen. It was a beautiful, delicate thing.
Made of black film and folding tape structures.
The RCM should get some of those.
Even one would be very useful. Though I understand the socio-economic causes of the revolution, it pains me to imagine the revolutionaries setting fire to the precious device. But so they did. The Feld playback experiment vanished into the fires of '07.
Wait, the failed playback experiment?
Yes, the official name of the prototype. Some sources report it as the Feld playback experience, but those are incorrect.
Why did the revolutionaries destroy it?
Who knows? Maybe it was an accident, or maybe they didn't want the technology to end up in the wrong hands. Either way, they're all gone now. All 3 versions of the prototype. Nothing but debris and ashes remain inside that building.
He takes a step back. The boardwalk creaks mournfully in the wind. You're saying that Feld Electrical built this boardwalk? Look under your feet.
Yes, they even built a pleasure wheel, but that got destroyed in the war.
A pleasure wheel?
The lieutenant looks wistfully at the horizon, as if picturing gondolas raising into the sky.
Perhaps reminded of a childhood memory. It's clear he would prefer there were a big wheel lighting up the coast.
I think we all would.
Yes, to lure in their star engineers. This part of Martinez was nothing but reeds before Feld arrived. They had to make the prospect of living here attractive. It was supposed to become a global center for innovation in cybernetics. But history had other plans.
Okay. What did the revolutionaries do with those advanced tape computers?
They used them for military communications, but also to write and send out press releases. The most notorious example being Le Décret de Mars.
What was that?
What's the Mars Decree? I mean the radio transmission sent out to news agencies and world governments by the newly created Commune of Revachol on the 7th of March in the year 02.
A short-lived legislative foundation for a short-lived utopia.
It's a beautiful piece of text, actually. A singer-songwriter I know, Charette, called it a love poem to Revachol on her political concept album Bon Baiser dans ce Lind. You should read it. Every local library in Revachol stocks a copy of the decree.
Wonder if it's in the bookshop.
I tried to get Mikhail to memorize it. Tried to. Someone was much too interested in worms to be paying any attention.
He looks at his son, who starts giggling, his face hidden behind the book.
The kid takes a peek at the green and silver verm on the cover of the book, already forgetting about this part of the discussion.
What happened to the engineers? The company people?
Oh, I'm afraid it didn't end well for the boys. But this story is a bit too dark for little Mikhail here. Now, if you were to ask about
I did already.
tape computers...
I asked about tape computers. I wanted to ask about something else.
But of course. What else?
I think that's probably it.
Sure. What's on your mind? But of course. What else?
We've asked him everything we can ask him. Great. Thank you for all the interesting information.
No, thanks to you for having me and little Mikhail here to pick your brain. A very interesting conversation indeed.
But how does he know Kim or know of Kim? And why do we get this brotherly feeling? I don't know whether I'm right to go this way. I was just thinking, if the pigs is still up here, she might have seen something, but she's gone. I mean, she's one of the only people around here who could possibly see something. Whoa. Got a bit of tear for our trouble. But we did have a look at that sign. We had a good feeling about it. So many questions. Can we get further around here? No.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. The signage has peeled off over the years, but you can still make out Feld Electrical R&D. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of peeled letters remains. It says, "Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
And we have an extra option. Step closer.
Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls that are cracking and will soon also fall, and the coastal breeze rustling and sighing in the remains of the edifice. Feld Electrical. How ironic. All these dark rooms. Feld Electrical, you only know them as a small company that makes ink cartridges. Looks like they used to be big. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to fail first.
Could Ruby be in there?
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical room over there. Or in that boat shack. In that church tower, maybe.
Why
Okay.
single out this one building?
We have been to the church. Not sure there's really anything we can do to up Shivers. But let's have a look. Because if there's one thing we know how to do, it's to that up Shivers is to dress for the occasion. So +1. Maybe the only thing we have. +1 Shivers. And I think that's my lot.
The once bright mural towers above you, saying, "Feld Electrical R&D.
Right.
Tomorrow is just a whisper away."
Listen to the wind, 92%. We should be able to do this.
Even though
Hey.
you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet.
Ah,
There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead.
God damn it.
No rustle in the reeds. The wind has died down. The ruin in front of you is silent as a tomb.
What was I even attempting to do here?
Trying to talk to the wind, the city, whatever you thought would happen did not. And now you're just standing there in the pale of the morning with your hands fallen to your side. Is trying to talk to the city something you've done before? Is it in your secret repertoire?
It could be.
A trick for when you're out of ideas? A prayer of sorts? To Revachol?
Turn to the lieutenant. She could be anywhere. How do we find her?
How do we? I was really hoping she'd be in the village. Okay. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas on our wild cryptid hunt.
Yeah.
So we have an understanding of the geography, at least.
Well, that's what I thought when we got accused of not knowing the area all that well. It's like, we have run around here a lot.
And then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. I know it doesn't feel like progress, but exclusion is a step too.
Yep.
Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village.
And if that fails, if we don't find her?
Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, tom drainage, this
was a
place.
bunker.
I'm sure it won't come to that.
He looks behind him at the dark red box crumbling across the chasm.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. You can always come back here and talk to the wind again. Look where it already got you.
Should we try talk to the wind again?
A breeze, like a quiet sigh,
Damn
moves
it.
over you. The cool air breaks across your body. It brings the salt of the sea into your lungs. Go to the children of the big sea.
The children of the big sea. What the hell was that?
The wind rushes away, leaving you where you were, on the rotting boards of the felled building.
The children of the big sea?
Officer, are you okay? It looked like we lost you for a second.
Did I have a seizure, Kim?
Doesn't look like it to me. Probably not, anyway.
The wind told me to talk to children. Let's roll.
Okay, when you're ready, officer.
Okay. I'm going to put my awesome tie back on because it says some amusing things. Right. So there's another thing that I remember. I guess we could possibly talk to the young kids, the musicians. Yeah. There's the children that play, and there was also some drunks.
The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone. He can't be more than 5 years old. He watches his brother kick the stone with his tongue lolling out of his mouth.
Kids, have you seen any bad people around?
What bad people?
One of the twins looks up, his mouth slightly open.
I don't think questioning 4-year-olds without their parents present is gonna crack the case.
Then we're definitely doing it.
Kids, has anything strange happened lately?
We heard bad words and said, I got in trouble.
The boy turns a rock over in his hand.
Bad words. Bad words.
The other says, nodding absent-mindedly. Okay, what happened?
We just heard funny voices.
The boy shrugs. His jacket whispers as his shoulders move.
We thought the voices were funny. We said what they said, and then we got in trouble.
Where did you hear them? Did you overhear someone say them? Was it on the radio?
Radio? What's that? We just heard them in our head.
Okay, that is a bit weird. The boy sniffs up a drip of snot.
Voices from another self. Voices from a deeper self. Voices from early schizophrenia.
Do you mean you heard them in your head? What do you mean?
You know, I heard people talking, except just in my head.
He points at his head. His fingers are red from the cold. Okay, what did you hear?
It was like, it is time at last. My nasty speed freaks. Our brother man is about to grow up. DJ Flatio's Big Boy Daniel single is here. Buckle up, cause this is the fastest track that you're ever gonna hear. Turn up the volume. Blow those speakers out. Now here's no. Don't say bad words, stupid.
A word when you're done.
The lieutenant clears his throat. His eyes are wider than usual.
The boy draws a jagged rock across the ground. It leaves a white scratch.
Is little Lily your sister? Point to the house.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You must be Lily N's twins.
This one doesn't say anything, kicking the concrete with his worn-out sneaker.
Lily's our mum.
I already said that.
The stone kicker laughs suddenly. His head is too large for his shoulders. The other one laughs as well. Maybe there's some kind of reason why they're laughing. An interesting reason, somehow tied to the case.
What are you laughing about?
The boy stops laughing and looks at his toes. Oh, okay. So now he's shy. Now he's not talking. Just wobbling around like he's afraid of something. You will never get an answer. That's how it is with these little idiots.
Think that might be all that we get. Bye kids, take care. So, Kim.
Detective, about what the twins had to say.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they heard something. And given the poverty of this part of town, I don't know how they could have heard the radio.
It sounded like a radio.
I don't know how they heard it, but I know the station they imitated. So they must have heard it somehow.
What channel was it?
Speed Freaks FM.
Speed Freaks FM, huh?
Yeah, local station, known for its kinetic music and aggressive style.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, anyway. Weird as it is, the situation is not connected to the murder. This isn't our business.
But it is related, Kim. The wind told me so.
The lieutenant says nothing. An ocean breeze blows in strong. He raises his jacket collar against it.
Besides, maybe it was just a radio they overheard. They might not be old enough to know the difference. How would they have heard the voices? Yeah, even if it was a radio, where was it coming from?
The lieutenant shrugs.
Let's at least rule out radios before continuing. Maybe the twins didn't know it was a radio they were hearing.
Well, they didn't seem to know.
The washerwoman seems to know everything that happens here.
She does.
Let's ask if she heard anything before moving on.
After you. I'm just going to nip into this house because I think their little sister might be in there. And we could talk to her too. Maybe she knows something. There she is.
Hello, mister.
Do you know anyone named Ruby?
Ruby. Ruby.
Suddenly, the girl gets all serious and leans in, as if she's about to tell you a secret.
My mum tells me I'm a big girl, but she doesn't know that I can't say Earl. Or sometimes I can, but then
Kids.
Are you Lillian's daughter?
Yes, I am. Little Lily. You know my mom?
Not really, but I'd like to.
Uh-huh. Mom is great. You know what's great about my mom?
No, do tell me.
Everything.
Are the twins outside your brothers?
Yes. They don't want to play with me.
Oh, that's
They're
really
older and play outside.
That's
They
sucky.
look the same. Sometimes I can't tell them apart.
I guess they do look alike.
Lammy tells them apart.
She waves her fuzzy doll in the air. And what's that thing you're holding? Point at her toy.
It's Lammy. He's my friend. Sort of. Like...
She holds the fuzzy beast up to demonstrate.
Lambie is a stuffed lamb that, admittedly, has seen better days. One of the eye buttons is missing, and the fur is tattered in several parts.
Aww. Lambie looks soft.
Yes. Very soft.
Aww. Suddenly she pushes the stuffed animal towards your face. Press your cheek against Lambie.
Isn't he soft?
Yeah.
Bye!
The little girl's large, curious eyes remain fixed on you. What is this thought?
Is that the phasmid? It looks like the phasmid, leaning against the wall.
What? Where?
Wait. What if this is the fishing rod situation all over again?
I think we should leap towards the phasmid and clasp it in our hands.
It's not the phasmid.
Oh.
It's not even organic. It's a fire iron. How disappointing.
This is what I get for trying to be a scientist instead of a cop. I mean, I'm not even a good cop.
You were just following your instincts, your destiny. You're meant to find the phasmid. Just maybe not here.
Give the dream of discovering the Insulidian phasmid a rest. For now. God damn it. Right. So, let's see if Lillian has anything to add.
Aye, the sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is turning southeast. What's on your mind, officer?
Why does she care about the waves so much?
What is it with you and those waves?
What is it with waves and fishermen? We need to be out there with them, fishing, making a living. So I asked them to accommodate me.
She tilts her head and looks at the sea.
But until that happens, I can try to assist you the best I can.
Right.
So, what will it be, officer?
Right, I'm looking for someone.
Oh?
There we go.
Who?
I'm looking for a suspect who might have stayed in this neighbourhood.
Okay. When did this person stay here?
Very recently, over the past few days. She might have arrived on Friday.
Oh. I've been out on the sea for most of the past week. The weather's been good for fishing, so I usually start at 4 in the morning.
Really?
Yes, that's the optimal time. Got to make the most of the calm. I've been sleeping like a corpse after. The sea really takes its toll. Now I'm just waiting for the wind to settle to get out there again.
I think you've been stood here pretty much every time.
Sorry I couldn't help you out. Maybe I can help you find someone else.
No.
Really?
No.
Are you sure you're not also looking for Nadia Harnancourt? Or Ignis Nielsen? Or the great lost city of Ace under the waves?
I am looking for a lot of stuff, ain't I?
A lot of stuff.
I guess so. Doesn't feel like a lot to me. I could be doing something more. Maybe there's someone missing from your life.
Oh, there's plenty missing. But that's too much for even an ego terrier like you to handle. Although you seem very thorough. Tell me, instead, is there something else I can help you with?
We're really not likely to chatter up, but we're getting a few more thoughts. Work with the children of the big sea. Let's have a look at our thoughts. We got a lot of thoughts. This one hasn't really progressed very much. Might want to start working on some more. It's only going to take 42 minutes. What do you want to think about exactly? I'd like to think about the Col de Mamadaqua spotlight divisions. Missing persons cases just really get to you. It's hard watching people worry about their loved ones. The little nervous movements. You like to have all your ducks in a row, and it really bothers you when the whole entire people aren't accounted for. This sounds like it could be a useful thought. Question is, what would be a good thought to use? I think, as much as I like Kim, being a little more having +1 empathy towards Kim doesn't seem like massively useful. So I think I might do the searchlight division, because that looks like it's not going to take very long. We're doing a lot of thinking here. Wait, there's a boat. Oh, that's what's the name?
I'll just keep the Cordelacci in the channel, if that's okay. It's too shallow near the pier.
She winds the mooring line around a post.
Aye, ma'am. And it's a jetty, by the way. Of course. Jetty. I prefer a good jetty to a pier any day. Jetty.
Could she have seen anything? Hello, Mom.
Hello, detectives.
She fastens the end of the line around the post and straightens her back.
It's good to see you here. I only just arrived myself.
What brings you here, madame?
Nothing, really. I've had my eye on this jetty for weeks now, so I decided to investigate it personally. This cluster of buildings isn't on any of the official maps, as far as I can tell.
That. And she's also keeping an eye on you.
Have you been spying on us?
Spying has such a negative connotation. I did track your progress along the coast, however, and decided I would be better able to assist you from here.
Well, yeah, it's quite a way to run, I guess, all the way to the other side.
Then there's the matter of that little scamp in old lady clothes. She threatened to paint the Cordelacci red.
Ah.
Like blood, you see. Well, I like it the way it is. White.
What is this? Destruction of property? Hooliganism? Elder abuse?
Sounds like Cindy the Skull, all right. Want me to book her?
No need. Lillian and I are getting on much better. For one, she appreciates the concept of rent.
So, how do you like it here?
How do I like it?
She casts her gaze towards the village, slush melting on the cinder blocks. Construction work left half finished 10 years ago.
Water drips down eaves of Eternite. The jetty below her feet creaks to the tune. The smell of salt and dog shit in the background.
It's pornographically poor. The street has no name. All the men are dead or missing. And is that the carcass of a motor carriage over there?
She squints her eyes.
I'm surprised that woman hasn't put me to the sword yet. Maybe she will. You should ask your questions while you can.
I intend to.
Dark eyes survey the coast leading up to Martinez. Dull grey metal rests in her scabbard. A sword. The wind is too loud for her to hear.
Fortunately for you, madame, the RCM is on the scene.
All right, politics time. Let's react. Real men, real politics, real thoughts in your head.
Try not to be scared. This is just how the real city looks.
Oh, I'm not frightened, officer. I'd never...
She leans against the railing, looking up at the grey sky.
It's early spring, and the rains are coming. An officer enters a low hut of stone and wood. Inside, weapons are piled against the walls. Rifles with splintering stocks, and swords, tens, if not hundreds. They're antiques, says Lieutenant John, the archetype McCoy, to his partner. They're digging them up from the catacombs now, fixing them. Old caches from the revolution. The children carry them up. Come May, the streets will be flooded. Outside, the wind rattles the loose hatches, flooded with cheap weapons in angry hands.
Have I told you how they discovered this place?
The wind picks up. Her raincoat flaps in the gust. This fishing village?
No, they're in Sealindian, Isola.
No, you haven't told me how they found it.
Well, your condition has left you no worse off than most of these people. The literacy rate is around 45% west of the river. 50 years of occupation have left these people in an oblivion of poverty.
45% is around where I operate. Things are getting better, though.
I knew you would sympathise. Most Revacholians will never know what this place means. Our home. This island of matter. Or why they were ferried over in the first place. Remind me to tell you one day. For now, how can I assist you in this new location?
Tell me now. We have time.
Do we?
Kim glances at his watch. It doesn't look like he does.
I hear you have singled out a suspect and are in pursuit. This is cause for cautious optimism. I would not want to delay you.
This story, she will tell it only before she leaves Martinez, at the very end of her stay.
Maybe there is something else I can assist you with, while you're hot in pursuit.
Well, thank you for all that for now. We may be in hot pursuit, but we're not getting very far. Where could they have heard a radio? Can't they just tell us where they heard it? Dumb kids. Guys. You've got to have seen someone,
The legend!
Right?
He's back. And firstly, I got smokes and piss and a little speed to spice things up.
Okay. Quite the business venture.
Oh, the system's
been
been
through
good to
all
old
this.
Rosemary here. You see, full cigarettes.
The hook. Where is it? I can't see it.
Permit? Who gives a shit?
Okay. So I guess he doesn't have anything useful to tell us.
Tequila sunset.
Oh, did we already ask all this? Have you seen the red-haired woman?
Can't really remember seeing any women after losing my...
It's a touchy topic. He hasn't got laid in ages. He really has no idea who this Ruby is, sire.
Okay.
Don't call her.
The drunk man speaks in his sleep. Drool dribbles from the left side of his mouth and down his jacket lapel. Hey, wake up!
There's no waking him from his stupor. His mind is elsewhere.
Yeah, we did talk to them already, but I think I might try something else.
Tequila sunset.
Sorry for being a buzzkill earlier. I'll supply the booze if you'll supply the stories. Maybe this is a payoff for some information.
Wonderful.
Okay, I've got this blue medicinal spirit. How about that?
No. Contrary to popular belief, I enjoy being alive.
Oh, that's true. It's kind of 99 proof or something. I've got some sweet Commodore Red.
Classy.
He snatches the bottle and pushes the cork in through the bottleneck.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
All of the other bums interjects. Gurgles the near comatose man.
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened to you. Something happened to me, too. My actual name is George. But around here, you already know.
Yep, idiot doom spiral.
I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder/junior partner at a high concept creative services agency. When my story begins, I had just landed a major contract with an insurance firm.
Go on.
I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cultural incubator. Abstract value generation, value per person, high concept stuff. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm, but the burden of leadership weighed heavily on me. So I went jogging every so often to keep myself sane.
Wait, how many people did you have working for you?
22 full-time employees, an all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. Worrying about them often kept me up well into the morning hours.
I wonder if this is anything to do with that building over there and all the workers. Did the jogging help?
It did. With my trusty Sansarique tracksuit, I felt like I could conquer the world. But now dreams are worn thin, much like my tracksuit.
He says thoughtfully, brushing dust off his shit-stained pants. What happened?
One day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear your head when you're distracted by the sound of keys jangling in your pockets.
He shakes the bottle and makes a ringing sound.
His eyes are clouded, his dilated blood vessels encircling his irises like stinging brambles. His eyes are your eyes.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets to stop the jangling, you see. At least, that was the plan. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. The reality situation became very wet, very quickly.
How wet are we talking exactly?
Wet, okay? It was raining really hard.
There's a trace of derision in his voice.
I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. I'd mixed it up with the key to the letterbox, which was useless. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and landed on my ass.
I would have landed on my feet. I've got feline reflexes.
No, you don't.
Whatever. The point is, reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass in a mud pit in the middle of a heavy shower. But when life knocked me down, I always got up. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets, I realized that I'd also forgotten my apartment key.
You've got to be shitting me.
I wish I were, Tequila. I wish I were. Instead of my apartment key, I'd taken the key to the office.
He turns his head towards the skies. Okay, so what happened next?
I rang my neighbors' buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't even answer. Those who did assumed I was trying to sell them something and hung up before I could even explain the situation. People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on. I don't begrudge them, especially since I was known to be one of the best.
He pauses meaningfully. Or even meaningfully. Oh, I can think of worse things to buy.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. I could wait out the storm there. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired only the best, he'd already done it, and I couldn't get in.
And you wouldn't have a new key? Because?
Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. I haven't gotten into my apartment for years, and my girlfriend left me because she didn't want to date a homeless man. The company, well, you see where I'm going with this.
You couldn't have got a locksmith, mate?
So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think?
You just couldn't
Like
get
nothing
back
you've
into
ever
your
heard, huh?
apartment. Wait, is that it? I feel like there are some steps missing.
Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a long time. If there was anything else to it, I would have thought of it by now.
Why didn't you go to the authorities?
Yeah.
Well, at one point they came to me, but, I didn't have any ID on me. So they tossed me in jail for 2 days.
Jeez.
I can't say it increased my faith in the
No.
RCM. No offense, gentlemen.
Oh, wow. There's this black hole in the world. Or even, there's this black point in the world. A hole. It's already claimed an entire commercial area. Maybe you're just another one of its victims.
This would explain a lot. I always believed it wasn't my fault that I ended up homeless on the beach with these two bums.
He looks at his partners with a glint of sadness.
God bless them, though. I'd be alone without them. Anyway, that was all the story one bottle gets you. Almost empty, this one.
And why do you keep losing your stuff?
Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this formerly premium but now extremely dirty two-piece lycra tracksuit? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own creative services agency. I had a nice apartment, an even nicer piece of ass. But somehow it all got away from me. Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week I stole this nice new jacket, but then I lost it too. The only things I haven't lost are these two drunks.
You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost jacket is something you could help with?
Yeah. What was the name of your agency?
My agency, man.
Oh.
The Boom Boom Room.
Yeah.
Our concept was combining high art with the lowest forms of marketing. The color red, breasts, and oil painting.
Okay, so not what I was thinking then.
I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high-concept cultural incubator called Thin Air. The artists were happy, the clients were happy. I was financing a group of poets in East Rebishal who were developing a new universal poetic language. But then it all went to shit.
He looks towards the bay.
Sounds intriguing. What say you, Art Cop? If it sounds like it makes no sense, that's because it doesn't.
Man, mixing high and low, commodifying culture, that is extremely my shit.
I know! It was fucking awesome! Too bad I went on a jog, unleashing a cascade of doom that washed it all away.
He takes a long, wistful sip of his beer. Okay, what's up with the tracksuit?
What? You've never seen 100% lycra before?
Lycra?
Go on. Feel that primo material.
The man extends his arm. Touch it.
Pretty nice, huh? This might be one of the last of its kind. Should probably be in a museum, honestly.
He takes another sip.
Good God. It's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is.
Oh.
It's like rubbing two jellyfish skins together. You feel about 15% less human for having touched it.
Ew.
Randomized trials have also found lycra, TM, to be associated with a number of exotic, highly malignant cancers. So you also have that to look forward to. And then there's the smell. But you don't even want to think about that.
Wow, you're lucky. He never lets me feel it.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. You could wash them any time.
What about the other drunks?
My fellow members of the Union of Moribund Alcoholics? They're exactly what they look like.
Hey, tequila! You want to buy some speed?
Shut the fuck up, Rosemary. He's a cop, remember?
Yeah, a cop.
I thought he was a cool cop.
The gurgling sound comes from the direction of the non-responsive man.
That's right, I am a cool cop.
And yeah, you're already acquainted with abs. So yeah, that's basically us. We drink together.
What's this about a lost jacket?
Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. It was practically brand new. Sure, it didn't really go with my lycra threads, but it did itch a lot less. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve the case of the missing jacket. What do you say, Tequila?
You mean this jacket I discovered on the boardwalk and had cleaned on a whim? The man examines the jacket for a moment, a look of consternation on his brow.
Nah, this isn't it. Foam, that's medium concept stuff. Totally not my style.
So you're saying there's another lost jacket out there somewhere?
It's a big world out there, Tequila. Lot of lost jackets in it. Don't know why you'd think this could possibly be mine.
Hey, Doom Spiral. Ain't that the jacket you stole the other week?
Not on your fucking life, Rosemary. What's wrong with you people? Like I'd be caught dead wearing foam, like some low-concept bicycle courier. Tell you what, Tequila. Why don't you just hang on to that one?
Happy to?
I'll get another jacket. Someday.
At least you got a nice jacket for your troubles.
The lieutenant shrugs. You got any more stories?
I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. If you catch my drift.
He spins the bottle in his hand. Not a single drop of liquid remains. I don't have any on me right now.
Cottonmouth is keeping my tongue imprisoned.
He shrugs his shoulders dramatically. Okay, be seeing you.
Okay, let's step aside for a second.
Oh,
I have something I want to talk about.
exciting. So, having solved the case of the missing jacket, or otherwise, I think that'll do for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, maybe check out the Patreon. And I'll see you next time. Farewell. Thank you to my epic patrons who make videos like these possible. If you enjoyed this content and would like to see more, don't forget to subscribe.